chapter 3, text 16. Sura Suranam Udadhim Matnatam Mandarachalam Dadre Kamatha Rupena Prishtha Ekadashe Vibhuhu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. The 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandarachala hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and atheists of the universe. Purport. Once, both the atheists and theists were engaged in producing nectar from the sea, so that all of them could become deathless by drinking it. At that time, the Mandarachala hill was used as the churning rod, and the shell of Lord Tortoise, the incarnation of Godhead, became the resting place, pivot of the hill in the sea water. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyadi Paschate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasili Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Sura Suranam Udadhim Mat Natham Mandarachalam Dadre Kamatha Rupena Prishtha Ekadashe Vibhuhu. The 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandarachala hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and atheists of the universe. 11th incarnation is Kurma Avatar. The pastime of the churning of milk ocean is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. What was the purpose? To produce nectar. Nectar in Sanskrit is Amrit. What is Mrityu? Mrityu means death. Amrit means deathless, no death. So they wanted to become deathless. This is natural for jiva. For soul, he doesn't want to die, he doesn't want to be unhappy, and he doesn't want to be in ignorance. Nature of jiva is Satchid Ananda. So they cooperated together to get nectar so they could live forever. But if we see the Leela of Samudra Manthan, Leela, Supreme Personality of Godhead was involved. In how many forms? 3 forms. He expanded as Vasuki, that churning rope, Vasuki. He expanded as Kurma Avatar. Then on top of the mountain also he took a form. Because the mountain was floating, they wanted it to sink, stay down. He expanded in 3 ways. We actually, at any time, if we want to achieve anything, we have to have cooperation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We may know or not know. For non-devotees, those who are not devotees, they're under the material energy, Maya. So they are moving about in this world and having this body, breathing air, eating food. 100% they're dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What about the air? Air is there. Air is produced by God. This body, intelligence. Mata smritim jnanam apohanam cha. Some people say that I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Where did you get intelligence to be an atheist? Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, intelligence comes from Him. Even to get faith, deep faith in any other thing other than God, that is given by Krishna. He says that yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayar chitum ichchati tasya achalam shraddham tameva vadadhamyaham. Those who want to worship anyone else other than me, I give them firm faith by which they can worship that. Worship means, for example, some people follow science. They don't want to accept God. That faith in science is given by Krishna for them. That's what they want. Or faith in whatever they want. So, faith of the Lord, even in small things like eating, sleeping, Supreme Personality of Godhead has to give His sanction. We cannot even sleep if Krishna doesn't allow. We can't sleep. Or we cannot stay awake. Or we cannot eat. We cannot, whatever we want to do. So, in this Leela we saw, Supreme Personality of God is involved, but actually in everything He's involved. The difference between an atheist and a theist is one who sees that. Or even if you don't see, you accept it. Deep faith is born when one can see the Supreme Lord everywhere through knowledge and vision, understands this is Supreme Lord. He's everywhere. Everything's dependent on Him, even my activities. And so someone will come to him and speak, actually God is a person, He has a material body, speaks some Mayavad, or speaks atheism. But I'm seeing God, what are you telling me? I'm seeing God here, everywhere, I'm seeing Him. Deep faith comes from that realization. But then some are not so deep, but they accept through some logic, but they don't have full realization. That is Komal Shraddha. That is, faith won't be so deep, but that is there. That's also faith, and that makes them theists. So in the Vedic path of religion, such a great amount of knowledge is given about God, and a way to realize Him is much deeper. You can actually realize God, perceive. Very scientifically it's given. In other systems that way I have seen, outside Vedic path, it's not, we can know about God, but not so much in detail. They don't know. And they're taught not to ask because they don't know, they cannot answer. So the faith cannot be so much. It can be there, but it can easily be maybe broken. And so a person who sees Supreme Personality of God everywhere, he has a faith. He can understand the fact of this world. Then he understands that yes, everything is dependent on the Lord. But those who do not, those who don't, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva harashaham. For those who don't accept, Prabhupada interprets this verse like this. Mrityu sarva harashaham means I am all devouring death. I am the form of death. Sarva harash means taking away everything. Mrityu sarva harashaham. He'll take away everything. So Prabhupada said, those who don't accept God, at the point of death, they'll see God in the form of death. In other words, they'll see a power greater than them that has come and is taking them away and pulling them away from all what they are thinking is their world. All attachment in this world, they are attachments. So now Shastra explains how we should live, what we should do, and those who listen, they are cooperating with God and they'll have relatively peaceful life. Not fully, this is material world, what you expect. But those who don't cooperate with God, they'll suffer. They'll suffer to the degree they're not cooperating. It may seem like some civilization is doing so well. They have such a nice country, economy, money, and position and power, but they're atheists, they're not accepting God, and they don't care about God. Don't look from outside. From outside, anything looks very different. Really, we have to understand and go there and see, analyze, that some people are living through hell, inside, in the mind, so disturbed. Highest suicide rates are in those countries, or places where people completely give up culture, religion, and go fully into materialism. They suffer. And that suffering is very intolerable. It's more than physical pain. Physical pain is there, pain of the mind, things that we are not able to, in that song it says, Shita tapa bata barishana edina jamani jagiri. That day and night my heart burns with this worldliness, this material energy. So those who turn away from God, they become subject to this fire, Davanala, forest fire. They have to contend with living a life where nothing is making sense. We can't understand why things are happening. And nature will not cooperate. Nature doesn't cooperate. Hot, cold, too much rain, too little rain, no grains, disease, tsunami. Basically, demigods will not cooperate. Without cooperation, if we decide to live without cooperation of God. And how do you cooperate? What do we mean by cooperation of God? He has given His instructions here in the Shastra, different Shastras. And it's for us that we have to take up this living. Either there's Pravrittim and Nivritti Marg. Pravritti Marg is we enjoy everything, but at the same time in cooperation, following God's order. Or Nivritti, giving up. But both of them have to be in harmony with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in order for someone to cooperate and live a life to understand God, they have to get knowledge, Gyan. First of all, they have to understand and detail how there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead and how I am dependent on Him. We have to understand in detail. So, Bhagavad Gita gives this in detail. We are breathing air, and Krishna says, this air, earth, water, fire, this is my energy. Separated. Bhinname prakriti ashtada. 8 energies of mine have manifested, but separated from me. They are there. So that is one aspect. Breathing, intelligence, that is from Krishna. And this material world, how was it created? How was it administered? Who is managing the affairs of this world? He is explaining in Srimad Bhagavatam. The 10 topics of Puranas are there. One of them is Sthanam. Sthanam Poshanam Utayaha. One of the 10 topics is Sthanam, understanding this world, the structure of this universe. So the Jiva, it is compulsory for him to understand this knowledge, because by understanding this knowledge, faith is born. Faith that I have to surrender to Krishna, I have to dedicate everything to Him. That knowledge comes from by studying the Shastra. For example, Bhagavad Gita, then after that Srimad Bhagavatam. But even if we just hear if we cannot read, but we must hear. Because more and more this knowledge becomes manifest. Then we are able, through Gyan, I am seeing, I am having vision, I am seeing, yes, this is the way. So I'll act, I'm able to act. But if I don't have knowledge, I'll not act. Someone may say, this is my culture, this is my religion, I have to follow. But they'll not follow so deeply. But somebody else has realized the truth by studying Shastra, he's able to give up. As Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That I am a source of everything. One who knows this, iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That one who knows this, that I am the source, he worships me with bhav. Bhav means with feeling. Oh, we may worship God, just it's my religion. I have to do it. I have to worship God. Otherwise, I'll go to hell. I have to worship. Out of fear, we may worship. For different reasons, we may worship. But if we get knowledge, understand how Krishna is supporting everything in this creation, then bhava samanvita, with great feeling, with great force and dedication, we will worship God. So it's compulsory to understand about God. Gyan, knowledge of God has to come. As we have to understand how He's pervading everything and supporting every single activity for the atheists and for the theists. In all these leelas we see in the Krishna's pastimes, when He descends, how He's descending and killing and rescuing and doing all these different activities, and his devotees are involved in that. So these devotees who are there in these leelas, they're already at a higher level. They're seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead interacting with Him. In Satyayug, the Supreme walked here. In Tretayug, even Dwapar Yug, but Kali, people are so fallen, he will not come. And when he comes, he doesn't come as God. He comes in a hidden form. In Chana Avatar, as Prahlad Maharaj says, Kalau Yadabhavas Triyugatha Satvam. Yeah, that he comes in Kali, he's known as Tri-Avatar, Triyuga. Triyugatha Satvam. Kalau Yad Abhavas, because you don't come. Because actually he comes but in a hidden form. Chana. He comes in hidden form. Because in Kali Yuga, people don't have knowledge. They are so much covered in ignorance. What makes them covered? Sense gratification. Greatest enemy of the jiva is sense gratification. Gradually, it will take away all the knowledge and make us covered. The more we did sense gratification, the more in this life we are born covered and no feeling for Krishna. No inclination, no desire to know God. This is product of sense gratification in the past. We made wrong decisions. And the more someone is attracted to God now, that means they did some past pious activities, they worshipped God. So due to that, they had attraction in this life. So we understand that those who are born in India specifically, they in past lives worshipped God very much. And so they get access to Vedic culture. Vedic culture is eternal. It's not like other cultures. Indian culture, Chinese, Arabian culture, African culture, that is different. Those are worldly cultures. Vedic culture is not Indian. Now it says Indian. This is Vedic. This is coming from Vaikuntha. So due to piety and desire to be pure and to know God, one is given access to this culture. Within this culture, one who takes birth, then he begins to implement a lifestyle and a way of living which is dharmic, divya. You can say it's divine. Because the cloth we wear, that is worn by God. This is worn by devatas. We wear Urdhva Punda, that means we are marking our forehead. When Prabhupada was asked, what is tilak? There are many answers. One of them, he said, this is victory sign. Another, he said, marking the body as a residence of God. Now, such a vision that I am walking around, Supreme Personality of Godhead is there, and I am marking. Such a mind, this is higher form of thinking. And what people think, I am a lump of matter walking around, blood and bone, that's all. And I have to enjoy this body. This is their life. This is animal life. It's animal. But higher life, that I am a soul. I am in this body as a machine, and within is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I'm marking my body to show everybody Supreme Personality of Godhead is here in me. And we are keeping Shikha. Why? Shikha denotes that one is a Vaishnava, servant of God. Otherwise, renunciates Shiv, but out of them, Vaishnavas keep the Shikha. So these are called Udipan. It means by seeing, we remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see the tilak, we see the Shikha of us and other people. And we are wearing these things. This is constant reminder. I'm under God. God, everything is vision of God. So this is a higher culture. Vedic culture has this capacity to take us to God. And it's like a net that if someone is practicing bhakti and they're not able to, or some difficulty comes, but the net will catch. For example, people born of Vedic culture, at least this one thing is separation of men and women. So even if they decide, no, I don't want to live a pious life, I want to associate with women, at least you will not do it openly, it's hidden. Or meat eating, or now less and less people are following. But Vedic culture makes it easy. So this comes because of past. In the past, we were pious. So we decide to come to God. So God is awarding, okay, come here. Here is India. Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Srirangam. Srirangam is from Satyayuga. Badrinath. Holy places, holy mountains. So much access we have. assisting us to come to God. Because we desire to come. We desire, I want to be part of God. I want to come in this culture. So I want to come to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna will facilitate that. But some people don't want to live with God. So God will facilitate that. Prahlad Maharaj says, Matirna Krishna parata svatova mitho bibhadyate grihavratanam adanta gobir vishatam tamisram punah punashcharvita charvananam. He said, Matirna Krishna. Some people don't want to be Krishna conscious. Matirna Krishna. So such people, it says, grihavratanam. Vrata means they took a vow that in this life, I'm going to enjoy. I'm not going to surrender to Krishna. They made the decision. They decided. So, Prahlad Maharaj says, Matirna Krishna. They'll not get Krishna. Obviously, they don't want. So we may say, okay, we'll make them Krishna conscious. But they cannot become Matirna Krishna parata svatova. Even other people cannot make them. Other people will preach, they'll not. Then he says, svatova. That means, Prabhupada translates that we may make a conference and get many people together to speak to him and explain him. They'll still not. They took a vow. Griha vratanam. Adanta govi vishatam tamisram. So they made a vow that I'm going to enjoy this life. How do you enjoy? His senses. So, Adanta gobi vishatam tamisram. That is, he says that they will sing to hell eventually. Because if I want to enjoy the body, I don't want to use the body, everything given to serve God. I want to enjoy it. So we have to understand the nature of the body and the senses. I suppose at some time all of us tried to enjoy the body, tried our best, or maybe not, you're more pious. So one example is given like a sponge. When here we use kaura and steel, but you know what a sponge is. They'll use that for washing the pot or cleaning the body. So a sponge, when it's wet, what happens? If you press water, water comes out. Then when the water has come out, second time you press, less water comes. You have to press more. Then again then you have to press much more. And third time you'll press, no water will come. You will struggle, maybe one drop will come. This is the nature of the body. If we decide, I'll enjoy, so you'll enjoy a lot, then not so much, then less. Then you have to do a lot to enjoy, much more. And so eventually, you will have to do sinful activity to enjoy. You will have to sin. So when we begin to sin, then that takes us away from God and makes us bound to this material energy much more. So Prahlad Maharaj says, Adanta gobi vishatam tamisram. Those who have taken a vow not to be Krishna conscious, to enjoy, they'll eventually go to hell. That's the destination. And then he says, punah charvita charvananam. Actually, punah means again and again. Punash charvita charvananam. They are enjoying or doing what they've done so many lifetimes. Same thing they're doing. And actual meaning of this, charvanana means chewed. What we chewed, again we are chewing. I'm chewing. And examples like the sugarcane. Sugarcane we bite it, then that rust comes. We swallow the rust. Then we spit out what is remaining. So someone says, no, I'll get rust, I'll take that. You cannot, there's no rust. There's no rust there. No, I'll try, I'll get it. I'll press, nothing, maybe something you'll get. So this is this material world. There is no rasa. It's not there. And whatever we're doing, we did it so many lifetimes. But anyway, so some people who made the vow not to be Krishna conscious, not to cooperate with God, Adanta gopi vishatam tamisram, Prahlad Maharaj says, they will go to the lowest position, to hell, and suffer. Actually, anybody who has some intelligence and reads Shastra, they'll understand it's intelligent to be pious. This is intelligence. Even if you don't surrender to God, that's also not sensible. Some don't want to surrender, but even they live in karma kand, that is some level of intelligence. Even to enjoy, you need to cooperate with God. You need to at least follow the Vedas. There are people who want to enjoy, but they cannot enjoy even if they have money. They don't know, because you see in Vedic culture they teach you how to enjoy, how to eat, what foods to mix, we know which direction to sleep, how to take a bath, how to be clean, and Ayurveda is there, which helps us to extend our life. So even to enjoy life, the Vedic culture is needed. So what happens out of Vedic culture? People get a lot of money, they become successful, but they don't know how to enjoy. They don't know how to eat. They don't know how to live. Even to enjoy, you have to come to Veda. To live a life of enjoyment, you have to come to Krishna. We're not advising that. We're advising you surrender to God. It's most intelligent to surrender to God, because when we surrender to Krishna, immediately suffering stops. But in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there's now we are reading Nectar of Devotion. In chapter 1 of Nectar of Devotion, it's speaking about bhakti, pure devotional service. So on the first page, I heard there's one Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Then he was already left now. But how did he become a devotee? He said, I got Nectar of Devotion. I read Nectar of Devotion. After the first page, I became a devotee. I read, what is this? Amazing. So who remembers what's on the first page? Did you read Nectar of Devotion? You read? What is there? First page? Characteristics of bhakti. 6 characteristics. Actually, Nectar of Devotion is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one shloka comes. This is paraphrasing that shloka. What is that shloka? Kleshagni, that verse, Shubhada. So what does that mean? Characteristics of bhakti. First is Kleshagni. What is Kleshagni? You tell me. What is Kleshagni? Kleshagni. First characteristics of bhakti. Nectar of Devotion. Who else read? You read it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Blazing fire in the heart.
See, what is Klesh? What is Klesh? Huh?
Conflict.
Klesh, no, not conflict. Klesh means suffering. Okay. Different kind of suffering, Klesh. And Gni, what is Gna? G-N-A, Gni, means destroy. Okay, it means destroy. Kleshagni means bhakti destroys suffering. So actually, if I have higher knowledge, someone is intelligent, just reads Shastra, and because what are we seeking? What were the demigods in this verse? It says they were churning the milk ocean. What were they seeking? They were seeking nectar. Nectar means Amrit. There, Amrit, 2 things are there. One is you can enjoy a lot. It tastes good, and it's something that will help you to enjoy more and give great happiness. Other meaning is it stops death. Amrit. So they all came together for Amrit. Okay, and they were intelligent because they came to Krishna. He cooperated, but of course they didn't surrender to him. They didn't get the full Amrit. So actual person who's intelligent, who wants to get Amrit, what is the real Amrit? That is service to God. That is called Bhakti Rasa. And so, Rupa Goswami wrote this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The nectar, Amrit, which is derived, which we get from the ocean of Bhakti. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The nectar derived from the ocean of devotion, in other words. Short nectar of devotion. Nectar. So this nectar, this is actually what we are searching. We don't know. I don't know. I'm searching for it in perfect material life, happiness and peace in perfect material life. It's not there. That is not there. But an intelligent person will study Shastra and understand, I have to come here. This is what I have to do. Through study of Gita and Bhagavatam, we will seek that nectar. That nectar comes from bhakti. Therefore it's called bhakti rasa. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. There's an ocean. To get that nectar from that ocean, we do bhakti. What is first thing about bhakti? Kleshagni, destroys suffering. First thing, bhakti destroys suffering. All kind of suffering. But we don't have sense to know that. I'm thinking to stop suffering, I have to get more money, or get a perfect wife, or perfect big house or car. That is our suffering. That is not the way out of suffering. That is the way into suffering. And people then who realize, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bharat Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Rishabh Dev, so many, whole list, how they renounced. They just left. They just left the home. I quote this many times, but every time I quote, new people come, so I can say it. That I read in Bharat, how King Bharat, how he renounced. It's written that he gave up everything. How somebody, if someone goes to pass stool, what happens? We pass stool. The stool came from our body, isn't it? And what do we say? That when we are leaving the toilet, what will happen to my stool? I'm leaving now. Where will it go? Do you think like that? It's written in Shastra, Bharat Maharaj renounced like that. He said when he left his home and his money and his wealth and his family, he renounced like how when we passed stool, we left the stool. In fact, we want to get out very fast. There's smell. Let's flush the toilet, close the door, get out. Left like that. He didn't, shall I leave? No, I'll not leave. Let me stay. Why should I leave? What will happen? I'll flush the stool, it'll go. Where will it go? Who will take? Anyway, I'm just repeating what is in Shastra. So, Bharat Maharaj, when he left like that. So now, of course, that's not easy. Who can do that? Okay, answer is who can do that? Who understood the Gyan? Who got the vision? He got the vision. Vision is, for example, who was it? Sridhar Maharaj. When he was about to renounce, he actually had a wife and a child. And he was thinking, how can I leave that wife? How can I leave my child? Then he was watching and he saw a lizard, baby lizard, small lizard, on the wall. So generally for baby lizard, the mother lizard come and give the food. Because baby lizard doesn't know how to get food yet. But what happened? A fly came in front of that baby lizard in front of his mouth. Then he ate it. So then he was thinking, Supreme Lord, He has made arrangement for everyone. Everyone to get their food, Supreme Lord has made arrangement. I have taken birth. My food has appeared also. And it's been planted somewhere in Punjab, the wheat crop, or in Bangladesh, the rice, here, maybe Bengal. The basmati has been planted already. And on that rice, it's written, this Murari will eat. Everything has come. So when we get deeper realization, then we are able to do that. Then we are able. If we don't, then it's hard. It's not, and actually, it's not for force, because some people don't have that realization. You cannot force it. Simply read, get knowledge. But one who has renounced, we cannot understand it. How can he do that? How can someone give up? It's so hard to understand. And from externally, it looks like, oh, what about your family? What about your money? What about this? But person doesn't understand. Shastra means, actually, who am I taking care? I'm not taking care. Supreme Personality of Godhead is taking care of everyone. I am not taking care. I can die tomorrow, but it doesn't mean my dependents will die. Because what they have to get, they'll get it. I'm not God that I die, they'll die. No, I'm just an instrument. So, one who gets deeper vision, understanding, they will do that. But some may not, that's up to them. But the idea is, we should understand it, how it works like this. How does it work? It works through knowledge, realization. Vigyan, Anubhav. One gets deeper knowledge. Okay, for example, well, I don't have practical example, but I may see something, but when I get realization, I see something different. I see the reality. Like when you put on the light, I can actually see. So an enlightened person understands that soul, Atma, all these Atmas are the same. We are all same. Okay, but the bodies are not the same. We can see, no? Yeah, I have a different body from you. Our bodies are different. But on soul level, we are the same. On soul level, there is no caste, there is no religion, there is no gender. So actually person who is spiritually realized, he is able to see that. And he sees all the souls are under Krishna. And they are bhunjete agam papa. They are simply enjoying or suffering their reactions. How can I stop that? If someone's meant to suffer, how will I stop? How will I stop their suffering? I cannot stop it. I will not say, I'll stay, someone is sick, I'll take care. But if he's meant to suffer, he'll suffer. If he's meant to enjoy and get money, even if I'm at home or not, he'll get it. So anyway, in summary, that if someone does renounce, then one cannot see that vision, that because they're seeing a different vision. But the one who got the vision and renounced, he's realized. But finally, this Hirdaya Granthi, everyone has to break it. Either this life, maybe after 10 lives, maybe 100 lives. But at one time, we have to break that knot. That knot has to be broken. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti kovidas tasya kona kuryat katharatim. That it says that chindanti kovida. Kovida means Kovida. Kovida means not COVID. Kovida means educated, intelligent people, expert. So those who are expert, who understand Shastra, they understand that I can break that knot, that Hirdaya Granthi, that knot which is binding this body and soul together. You see, I give example all the time. This kartal has a knot. There's a knot. See that? This knot here. Because of that knot, this kartal won't fall out. It's stuck here. That's good. It's a good knot. But there's another knot that's not good. That is knot which is binding my soul to the body. That when I die, again I take a body, again. This knot is broken. How? It says that anudhyasina, that with a sharp sword we can cut the knot. What is that sharp sword? Kona kuryat katharatim. By hearing the katha, Krishna katha, which means reading, by understanding the science of Krishna, Krishna tattva. Ye Krishna tattva veti sei guru haya. One who understands Krishna tattva is said to be a guru. So by understanding science of Krishna, I'll no longer be attached to the body. And what is attached to the body? The attachments of the body are the family, society, culture, religion. Okay. So that comes by deep understanding of knowledge. So we have to get that knowledge. So intelligent people do that. And if we may do it this life, or we may have to do it in a future life. And if we do it this life, then if we're not successful, then next life we are born and we are very detached. Easily we come out again and continue. It says that tattaneva tadyogana, that person then in the next life he continues his spiritual life in the next life. Very easily he comes out. But one who's bound, again he's bound, next life. So that binding has to come out. And that comes by understanding Krishna Tattva, by understanding this science. Then our vision changes. When our vision changes, we understand actually Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. And we are dependent on Him. Full realization means fully surrender to God and serve Him. And partially, actually, some don't have realization. So wherever they are, it's fine. They can worship God. It's not it depends on the position. No? Some people don't have. So the Vedic culture is there. So that some remain in the position and worship God, and it's for them gradually they can come out. But others are able to realize, and through realization they come out. So that is their good fortune. Hare Krishna. Any question?
How to
Yes.
build up the little faith in Komal Shraddha? How to build up
How to increase from Komal Shraddha?
faith?
Yeah, so that initially faith is not much. And why is the faith not much? It's explained in 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, when they explain the classes of devotees, that, and even it comes again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned there, I think Mahaprabhu explains it. The difference between the Kanishta Adhikari and the Madhyama Bhakta is the Shastric knowledge. Because the Kanishta Adhikari, he has some knowledge by which he came to Krishna and he is worshipping. But he doesn't have Shastric knowledge. But the Madhyama Bhakta, he has faith, and someone asks him, why you worship Krishna? He can explain. This is why. Then the Uttama Bhakta, not only he can explain his faith, but he can change even that person who doesn't have faith. That's it. So, in order for us to come from the basic lower level bhakta to a higher level bhakta, we are required to get Shastric Gyan. Shastric Gyan may be gotten from Shastra or from another devotee who has higher knowledge, listening from him again and again even. In Bhagavad Gita it says, some just by hearing they get that Gyan, in chapter 4. Some do so many different forms of yajna to get Gyan. Jnana, whole chapter 4 is how to get Gyan. But some simply by listening, you can listen to a personality, sit and hear, and develop deep faith, if he has that faith. So that's how to get that Gyan. That we have to get the science of Krishna, we have to know it. Then our whole vision will change. Otherwise what we are seeing is not the reality. It's not the reality. It's a relative truth, not absolute truth. Right. Any other question?
Why all the auspicious places are
in India?
There are a lot of other countries that they are also living in this only.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
they gave more opportunity to attract.
Okay. The question: why are all auspicious places in India? Dhams, rivers, everything. And actually, I'm giving my vision of this, that okay, now I'm living in India, but I'm not from India. When we were living outside of India, practicing Krishna consciousness, how we'll come, we'll come by flight. Boat takes long time. So when we come by flight, and the flight lands and touches land in India, immediately, me and many people who are from out of India, we understood we came to a Dham. For you, Dham is a Vrindavan, Mayapur. But our understanding is the whole of India is a Dham. It's a special land that we'll understand when we come out and then come back. Why are the Dhams here? Why is this place special? There's a reason for that. All of us have free will. According to our free will, we do some activity, we get attachment. So next birth, we'll take birth in that place or that situation that we want. Out of all the jivas in this planet, those who are wanting to achieve perfection, they'll take birth in India. That's what they wanted. Those who want to enjoy, they'll be born somewhere according to how they want to enjoy, and according to the karma, they are given a certain body and place. And there are certain places in this world you can enjoy materially a lot, and India is not one of them, definitely. And so many Indians who want sense gratification, they leave and go out of India because they don't understand the value. But India is the place where the jivas who wanted to attain perfection, they took birth here. And so the facility is given. So many holy places. Even just by moving and traveling, I travel a lot now in different states because we were distributing books and for different reasons we travel. So I saw so many places connected with Lord Ram. You will not believe how many. Sometimes by accident. We are coming, they're telling us this happened here, this happened, and no one knows about that. There are so many dhams. Some are known, some are not known. So many holy rivers, places, and time and mountains. the nectar of this Samudra Manthan fell here on places in India. So why is that? Because the souls came here for desiring liberation, so they're given facility according to their desire. Whereas outside, the souls did not want it, they're taking birth outside. Some take birth near India, it means they were little pious. How much near they are. So according to our desire, we should take advantage. And we should finish in this life. Otherwise what will happen is what happened to so many people in India, that past life they desired, so they took birth, this life they just forget it. Go for IT. Get a degree, and then they lost it. But they had it. They're at the door of Vaikuntha. I heard one Maharaj said, example, like Krishna standing here. And around him there's so many people, but they're turning their back to him. They're not seeing him. And someone far away has seen Krishna is there. He's running from very far away. This is an analogy of people born in India and people born outside who become devotees. And they're coming to Krishna full speed. They're practicing everything, dedicating this life fully. And others are in India and Krishna is there. They just have to turn around. They have perfect body, because Indian body is very good for bhakti. They'll advance very fast. The form that's given, it's good at doing tapasya, it's intelligent, everything. But of course they're using now for work and everything. But they have the body, they have the culture, and they have the birth. And they can just endeavor a little and they'll get it. And people are born outside, very bad culture, bodies full of desires, much stronger, but they're running, coming. This is an analogy. Prabhupada said, very sad state in India, how it's become. They're supposed to be the Vishwa Guru actually, guiding. Hare Krishna. Next question.
What about Muslims born in India?
Actually, Muslims born in India and Christians. There's a quote in Message to Youth of India. It's a book written by a disciple of Prabhupada, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And there it's written, even Christians and Muslims are Krishna conscious in India. You just have to scratch little, it'll come, you'll see. And Prabhupada gave example that many times it happens that in Janmashtami, many Muslims come, Christians. I was thinking, how can that be? But actually I physically saw this. For example, I went to ISKCON Delhi and I was there on some festival and I saw they wearing this, women wearing that burqa. They enter and what's going on? It's like normal thing. Then in Salem, I was in Salem, here Tamil Nadu, this last Janmashtami, and I saw Muslims entering, walking around, some attraction. So there also, but of course it's little further because they're not in Vedic culture. But they also can be, they can.
If the desire is there to get perfection, like why is it covered? And that's why they took birth in India.
The cover is that material activity they did in past life that covered them. Otherwise, if there is no cover, then they'll go to Goloka, they'll not even come to India. That covering is there due to their past sinful action. And covering is thicker, means too much sinful action. Less sinful action.
The desire won't arise until like material activity, like they get displaced in sense gratification. Desire to perfection.
Yeah, Prabhupada said spiritual life cannot begin until we become disgusted with this material world. If we still have attraction to this material world, some attraction, then it will be difficult to do spiritual life. But we have to understand, to the degree we are disgusted this this material world, it's hopeless, useless, then that much we can. Yeah, that was your point?
Yeah, if that is the case, their desire has arisen. Then like how come the covering is again?
No, because desire arises but not fully. Still I have a plan. I want to Krishna, but I want little bit this enjoyment. And I want Krishna, and I'll chant Hare Krishna. But I have to have this also, and that also. So that is there. It's up to them to give it up or not. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Tended, it's finished. The time.